And we got good levels here.
I think so.
Yeah. Get your Rocky Mountain water. Enjoy your Coors.
Enjoy your Rocky Mountain shits.
That's your gig, man. I was fine. Then again, I drank Heineken out there. Calling back to the sleep thing, so. Shall we just dive into this then?
Absolutely.
All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Chadwick Von Tippitt and Joshua Lee Johnson.
40 the hard way all day long. And for today's installment, we're going to be discussing the movie Gummo. Now, Chad, give an outline because I can't even begin.
Oh, man.
And for our loyal listeners, no notes are taken during any of this. This is how bad this movie is. You got to be on pure air to experience this.
Man, it's something, that's for sure. So, the premise for this movie is
There's a premise?
Yeah, as disconjointed as this film, if you want to call it a film, is. Excuse me, that was my phone.
God damn it, Chad.
As disconjointed as it is, there is a premise to it. It's supposed to be like based on this small town in Ohio. Xenia, yeah, I always forget what it is. That experienced like a tornado.
That ravaged the town.
Ravaged the town, and then it kind of like they never quite recovered or something like that, or at least that's what I'm led to believe that this is what the movie's about. And if they wouldn't have spent about 2 minutes explaining that via a voiceover,
yep,
I would have no fucking clue what this movie's about.
And even with that premise, you're right, there is a premise. That was the premise.
And also, we're not just talking about a fucking tornado movie. This is like a cult classic.
Yes.
It's such a cult classic that Slipknot, before their first record came out,
right?
They use samples in their show, right?
Sure.
When they're like, this whole thing I think is sick, this whole thing I think is sick, this whole thing I think is sick.
Okay, right.
So they use samples from movies and shit. No, not on their record. They didn't use the sample
for their
live
shows.
For their live shows, they would use a sample from this movie, and it's pretty, like, people recognize it, and it's the fucking rabbits.
The rabbit smells like pussy.
Yeah,
and all
fucking
that.
rabbit.
Which
they smell like pussy.
Funny you should mention that, because I guess I got a couple little factoids about this fucked up movie that somehow we are all aware of, and yet nobody's aware of. Fucking, have you ever seen the movie Belly?
No.
Okay. That movie is so far out of my wheelhouse, I shouldn't even know what it is, but it's this movie that I think Jay-Z was in. I don't know, a couple of famous rappers. My brothers watched it. And it's about
Can I guess which brother?
Either one of them. I think it was both of them. Brandon and Dan. Hey, guys, what's up? But fuck you, because it was a good movie.
If only one of them watched it, my guess would have been Brandon.
It was definitely Brandon. Pretty sure
Brandon.
Dan as well. But no, so I watched that movie. It's a damn good movie about these drug dealers and everything else. And no, it's really good. But at one point, these guys come back to the pad, if you will, and they're sitting down, relaxing after, I think, some crime, and they flip the TV on, and the movie Gummo is on TV, and these gangsters, these very African-American-centric gangsters, are watching Gummo. And I could never reconcile why the fuck these guys were watching Gummo.
Well, so Gummo is, I guess Ohio isn't really in the South.
No, it's in the Midwest.
But the feel of this movie,
is Southern.
The characters, well, it makes sense because it was cast out of Tennessee.
Yes, it was. That's
okay.
Right.
I feel like they could have a connection to it because of the Deep South, and I feel like some of the environmental things of this movie are like indicative of a Deep South poor.
So this is why the guys in Belly were watching Gummo.
No, it's not why they were watching it, but I'm saying like I could see why they.
See, you're better at connecting those dots than I am, because I still how many years later I can't fathom why Gummo of all the movies they clicked on the TV, because I think one of them at one point says, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" And it was the rabbit scene.
I agree. Yo, what the fuck is this?
But for my part, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but why is Jay-Z watching Gummo? It just doesn't. It still to this day makes no sense. Brandon, if you're listening, explain this to me the next time we talk, because I don't get it, cowboy. I do not get it. But anyway, no, my introduction to
yeah.
this movie, I gotta say,
back to Gummo.
Yeah, back to Gummo. But no, I've been sitting on that factoid since last night when I watched this shit show again. But no, no, my introduction to it, oddly enough, was one of my exes from Canada. She was a huge Marilyn Manson fan. Trust me, this all makes sense. She was a huge Marilyn Manson fan, and I remember she had all these bootlegs of footage of Marilyn Manson. She was a fucking fanatic. One of them was Manson at the screening of Gummo, was what she titled this footage. And I'd asked her about it. I said, what the hell is Gummo? And she said, okay, well, I'll send you a copy of it. So she snail mailed me the VHS of it. I still have it. You know, it has the Canadian film rating or whatever. And I thought, all right, fuck it, I'll watch this. Oh, from the director of Kids? Oh, God, this should be fucking stunning.
Oh, yeah, kids.
And that was my introduction to Gummo. And then I watched it, and yeah, fucking 20 years later, Chad decides, hey, we should review Gummo. I'm like, come on. I did everything, listeners, I did everything to delay this shit. Come on, let's talk about sleep. Hey, let's review the fucking Foo Fighters. Anything but goddamn Gummo. Don't make me do it, dude.
So, my introduction to Gummo is similar. A friend also introduced me to it, or something, or a friend of a friend. Somehow it got in my house.
Somehow it got in your house.
Somehow it got in my house, and I watched it.
So, what the hell? What kind of explanation is that?
You know, well,
how the fuck
I didn't go to the fucking video store and rent this movie because I needed to be, fulfilled by a smart film or a art film or something. Anyway, anywho, it was described to me as, hey, you got to watch this movie. It's fucked up.
Oh, Lord.
How many times does that ever work out?
Never.
Hey,
never works
listen to
out.
this. It's fucked up. Hey, look at this. It's fucked up.
My God, I watched Deliverance for that reason. Hey, you got to see the squeal like a pig scene. Did I really need to see that?
Exactly. Did I really need to see that? So, I feel like this movie is way more fucked up than, hey, you got to see this. This is fucked up. I think the some of the reasoning people, like some of the scenes that they are remembering in which they say, hey, watch this movie because of this,
right,
is so mild compared to some of the other stuff in this film.
Right. I mean, I think we were discussing this.
And one of the other things is this movie has a very eclectic soundtrack.
Oh my God, yes.
And some of it, I could see, like, if you're a fan of some heavier music, you somehow you hear, oh, hey, this band is in this movie. You should check out this movie.
Burzum or whatever.
Yeah, Burzum. The fucking
Sleep is in it, for Christ's sake.
Sleep is in it, but the guy, what's that band where that guy murdered the other? Mayhem. Or he committed suicide and then.
Yeah, that's Mayhem.
Yeah, Mayhem.
Yeah, Dead, Euronymous, and all those people.
It has a song by that guy.
See, and I couldn't differentiate one of the death metal songs from the other. All I heard was boo.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, death metal. Okay, what band? Doesn't matter.
So I guess when you're a death metal fan like that, when you hear your favorite death metal guys in this songs in this fucked up movie.
And I'll be honest with you, asshole. The fact that Sleep was in this movie was probably the only selling point I had.
There's also a Roy Orbison song.
Crying. Yep.
So basically I'm saying, like, maybe don't watch a movie because a song you like is in it.
I'm just going to go out. I'm just going to flat out say it. Anybody listening, if you haven't seen this movie, don't. I'm doing you a favor. Do not fucking watch this movie, because if you're from the Midwest, that's what we were talking about, Chad, is a lot of this we've seen in reality.
Yeah, it's possible.
Possible? You've never been in a kitchen with a bunch of drunk rednecks beating up a table?
Don't get ahead of yourself here. Let's ease into that one. So
ease into. I think we're diving into the fucking Griswold Springs here, man.
All right. well, good. Into this. Good. Let's get into this movie a little bit then.
Good call, Griswold.
So the opening of this movie is just like it's off-putting. Let's say it. It's off-putting. So you have a voiceover, right?
Yep.
Of children singing.
Oh, the Little Red Rooster or whatever the fuck it is.
I don't know. I don't remember the lyrics, but it's like kids singing like Sally's got a pussy.
Oh, that one. Yes,
Aunt
that's
Jenny
right.
has a pussy. Blah,
Oh,
blah, blah.
God,
It's like
shit.
what
You
the
fucker, I forgot about that.
Of course
yes,
you did.
that.
There's so much shit in this movie.
Yes, okay, so yeah, you're right. The weirdo, disturbing little
It's
kid
like-
singing a disturbing song.
Yeah, it's like weirdo little kids singing this like fucking
Obscenely profane song.
obscene, profane nursery rhyme kind of thing.
Yes.
All at the same time, you have a boy with rabbit ears.
No, the boy with rabbit ears was Little Red Rooster.
Well, yeah, but that's like right after this.
Yeah, right after
This is the credits, and then right after this, or during this, or whatever, they have the fucking rabbit boy.
Yep, rabbit boy on the overpass.
Smoking a cigarette, fucking
Pissing on the traffic.
pissing, hanging out. I don't. There was no real point.
No, just this. There's this kid who's probably 9 years old wearing shorts and bunny ears.
I would have said maybe like 12.
You
Let's say
think
12. Let's say like 12.
Let's compromise and say 11.
Sure. Wearing nothing but combat boots and a pair of shorts and bunny ears.
Were they combat boots? I thought they were tennis
just-
shoes because when later.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. My mind paints a picture, fills in the blanks sometimes, but
A lot of blanks.
a whole lot of blanks.
So yeah, you have that weird song that I woke up with in my head this morning.
Yeah, it's
Ka-doo-doo, or whatever the
it is so
fuck.
it is so bizarre.
Yeah, it's
If you actually sit there and look at the lyrics of the song, it's so bizarre.
Yes.
And what makes it even more bizarre is the person singing it.
right, because it was like an old timey song.
Yeah, like an old timey song, and then
My duck
somebody
goes cluck cluck or some shit like that. Just like a farmer.
yeah, like
song
like
or
some
whatever.
kind of weird farm out in a field song or something. I don't know.
Yes, while this kid for no discernible reason is hanging out on an overpass wearing bunny ears, smoking a cigarette and pissing on traffic.
So a regular viewer might think, this is going to be about this fucking bunny rabbit kid.
That's what you're almost set up to believe.
Yeah, it turns out that this bunny rabbit character is actually like a metaphor, visual metaphor. What's a visual metaphor?
Is he a visual metaphor? I didn't go that deep
For
into it.
a fucking actual rabbit.
Huh?
It's something to do this Harmony Korine's fucking Harmony Korine. His fucking vision, the artsy part of him was like, I need to have a rabbit.
What? I
need
never
to have,
read that.
I need to have a rabbit. See, you didn't watch the special features on this DVD.
Fuck no, I didn't watch the special features. I'd had enough when I was done with the movie. I saw the credits and said, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah,
I
well.
did my part. I did my job. Hell with it.
So
So the rabbit was a goddamn metaphor?
for an actual rabbit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, why would you just have like? So imagine if it wasn't played by a human.
Uh-huh.
You would have this rabbit
Hopping along randomly.
hopping along randomly in a film.
Oh, God.
So-
now my mind's getting blown, and I don't like it at all.
See, that's why I don't really dig artsy films.
That's why I don't dig Harmony Korine. All right, Harmony, if you're listening,
Please listen.
why do you do this? What are you hoping to accomplish? Disturb people? Make them feel fucking mentally like they have to get a bleaching? Why? What are you hoping to accomplish? Kids was bad enough. I won't let my daughter out of the fucking house because of that fucking movie. Now, Gummo? Seriously, I lived a lot of this garbage, and you have to put this into a picture that my fucking podcast guy is going to be a sadist enough to say, hey, watch this again. Why do you do these things? And no, I'm not watching fucking Trash Humpers. No, it ain't happening. You are talented. You know how to put together a picture. Do something better with it. Please. I mean, let Chloe Savini play a better role than what you've put her in. My God. All right,
and this
enough.
is like the first minute of the film so far.
Yes, and we haven't even dove into it yet.
Yeah. So that little tidbit about the rabbit is
feel
just
better.
an after fact that I learned after watching the movie twice in my life.
Yeah, that's
Because
all
I couldn't fucking figure out this rabbit boy because he didn't fit anywhere in the story, the very loose story that this fucking film follows.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, and for my part, I guess I just kept dining on the question. Yes, I realize these people are fucked up and on and on and on. Why is he wearing bunny ears? Why?
Because he's a metaphor.
Because he's a
for
metaphor.
an actual
Fine.
fucking rabbit.
Fine, but what point does a rabbit serve?
I don't know. It's
Exactly.
Symbolism for something.
Of
Maybe
what?
I don't know. Maybe it's open ended.
Jesus Christ.
Follow the white rabbit, Josh. but I think he had pink ears. Anywho, so then the following scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, are we? Yeah, let's get.
I'm not trying to go scene by scene.
You can't,
because it's very disjointed. But the following scene, and this is a scene that when they showed this film, did they show it at Cannes or did they some whatever fucking premiere,
some film festival, right?
Whatever premiere for this fucking godforsaken movie.
Right.
We're about 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes in at this point.
At best, yes.
People got up, fucking left for this next scene, and it doesn't even scratch the fucking surface
Was
of
that
this.
the cat getting drowned?
They drown a cat in a garbage can full of water.
That's right.
They being like 2 kids.
Was that Tumblr and the other one?
Tumblr and
I didn't even bother remembering names. There's Tumblr and Dot was one of them.
It's hard.
Right, because there's so fucking many of them. They're so random, and you almost want to scrape them from your mind, really.
Tumblr and not Samson, but something like that.
I don't know.
Let me grab the DVD case if I can.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's too far away.
The white trash protagonist, really.
Fuck Solomon. His name was Solomon. And I don't know if that's also symbolic. I am not even going to try to fucking figure that out.
Don't try, Chad. Just don't try.
So, anywho.
They're drowning a cat.
They're drowning a fucking cat in a garbage can full of water.
Yep.
And then we're getting another voiceover. The same voice that did the one for the rabbit, turns out that that's Solomon. And he's the younger of the 2 characters.
Yep.
I'd say, like...
He's the kid on the cover.
Yeah, he's the kid on the cover. I'd say, like, Tumblr is probably, 13, 14, maybe 15 years 14. Old. And then this kid's probably 11 or so.
10 or 11.
10 or 11, probably.
Yep.
So these 2 kids. And they're fucking drowning a cat. And this causes people to get up and leave. I mean, obviously.
Walk the fuck out.
Obviously, just walk the fuck out.
Yeah, really, where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there?
They were lucky because you find out where the fuck you go from there.
So you're going to probably have to check me a little bit along the way because you just watched this and I watched this a week ago. But these kids are riding their bicycles around killing cats.
Yep. They got BB guns strapped to their backs.
They're killing they're killing stray cats.
Yeah, that's
and then one part of the scene, they're like cruising down the street on their bikes and they stop. And they see a cat, and the Tumblr kid is going to shoot this cat, and then the younger kid stopped him.
That's a house cat.
That's a house cat. So he has some kind of fucking moral grounding.
Now, prior to that, that's when you get dragging on.
Yeah, they're cruising down the road on their bikes.
On their bicycles.
Dragonaut plays.
It's like, okay, this is... But I remember when I watched that clip, that was when... It's like, when you take sleep out of the element of sleep, that's when I realized... how, if you're not a fan of that band, how phenomenally weird they probably sound to you, just because you have that real that effect-laden bass or whatever. Bow, 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 bow. I was like, Jesus, this is fucking weird stoner music, you know?
Yeah,
I love it.
It's pretty. I think it really set the tone for that scene.
Fuck yes, it did.
So I like the music. Definitely do not like this film.
Right.
But like you're saying, it could be. I think that scene is supposed to be a little like jarring.
Yep.
To see these kids that are obviously kind of poor looking in a poorly run down looking neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Well, because they explained earlier in the film that there was a tornado. So this voiceover, the kid that was doing that voiceover was explaining the tornado.
Right.
And was like talking about how before his dad died, so you get a little backstory in this. Did you not pay attention?
What the hell look was that?
The look on your face was of confusion when I mentioned this kid's
We're
dad.
talking about Gummo, and you expect me to not have a look of confusion on my face for the majority of this?
The voiceover,
all right,
when this kid is explaining that a tornado wreaked havoc on this town, he mentioned that it happened before his dad died, before Dad died.
Right.
So you get a little bit of his backstory in this voiceover, and it's really like, if you're not paying attention to it, you're going to miss it, because it takes a while for them to come back around to his dad.
Yep.
But he was saying shit like he saw a girl fly through the air.
Somebody's head was missing from their body.
And he looked up her skirt.
Yes, that part.
Like what? So
that's the part those are the first slap in the face part.
Those are like, it has these little things where it's like, okay, seemingly normal description of a fucking chaotic event, a tornado.
Yep.
I saw people flying through the air. Yeah, okay, you would during a tornado. That's kind of normal, right?
And then I looked up her skirt.
But then I looked up her skirt. But he doesn't say it in a way that comes off like purposely creepy or like he's getting off on it.
But no, just like this is an everyday thing.
Yeah, like an everyday thing. And I looked up her skirt. And then he was like, I had a neighbor, and he described his neighbor, must have been a kid around his age. I can't remember the description they gave for the neighbor.
Okay.
I don't know, played sports, let's just say, something like that.
Yeah, all right.
I think it kind of fit into that. I can't remember what the kid actually did, but he was like, they found him dead in his house. He was missing his head.
Yeah, that part.
I always found that funny.
Always found that funny, yep.
I don't find the humor in that.
Well, and that's how fucked the mindset is.
That's how fucked up this movie gets.
So let's go to, all right, don't shoot that. That's a house cat.
Right. And then you get introduced to some of the other characters
Yep.
at this point because the two bicycling kids kind of go.
They go on their merry little way, and the house cat goes to its owner, who is
A
there's
little girl.
these three young ladies, really, that are living in this house. The black-haired girl, the dark-haired girl is probably like 8, something like that, if that.
She's like a little kid.
And then you go to her two, I'm guessing, sisters?
One of them had to be at least.
Yeah, Dot was Chloe Savini.
Okay.
And then, and like I said, I couldn't even figure out who she was because they both looked identical. They looked like Cherie Curry from The Runaways, which I was told was the idea.
They were both bleach blonde.
Bleach blonde, and they're putting electrical tape on their nipples.
Yeah, and I didn't quite understand that one, but
to make them look bigger. So once you pull it off, the nipples erect and they get bigger.
Okay, you say that like that's a fucking everyday.
I say that because it was bare breasts, and of course I paid attention to that.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about that for a moment.
Oh Jesus!
What age are they supposed to be portraying? Because I know the actress is old enough,
and
to
that
be
was
topless.
my consolation. Was I was staring at legal breasts. I was okay with it then, but then I had to go in back of my mind what age are they portraying? And I'm grossed the fuck out.
Yeah, I could see this being another point where somebody would get up and walk out on this movie.
It probably did.
So
probably did.
They're taping their nipples, but what are they doing? Where are they going?
That's kind of the whole theme of the movie is
what
are you doing? Where are you going?
Also, like the camera pans through this house on their because I'm thinking they're on an upper level of a house.
They were, because I'm pretty sure.
Like the little girl gets the cat
upstairs.
and goes into the house,
and she walked upstairs
with the cat. Said the cat was talking to the cat. Said you smell like shit or something. The cat was outside, got dirty or whatever.
Oh, because the cat was pregnant. Remember, they were trying to.
Yeah, they figured that later. That the cat was pregnant.
And then you hear the line, "There's going to be cute kitties. We're going to have to drown them in the river."
Yeah, drown them in the river.
Jesus
what?
Christ.
Do people do that? And the short answer is yes.
Yeah.
So that was pretty shocking to hear that kind of dialogue. Anyway, so they pan through this house as this girl is walking upstairs to her seemingly older, but not, I don't know how much older sisters.
Right.
The house is filthy.
Oh, yeah, just
Cluttered. And the floor looked filthy to me.
Right. I just know it's clutter more than anything else.
Yeah, very cluttered.
I see clutter, I assume.
And then when she comes up the stairs, it was like, was it bags of trash?
I think so.
It was like real dirt. It was dirty. It was like bags of trash.
Right. And literally every house in this movie was like that.
Fucking filthy. Yeah. Hoarders. Filthy.
A lot of hoarders. Which, God, this is where even my mind is jumping to different scenes now that are not going to be in any chronological order.
No, I mean, it really wasn't in... It had a very loose order.
Right.
To this film.
Just random as shit.
So, I don't know. They're taping their nipples down. I'm not sure what event... Are they going out? Are they doing something?
Well, and at that point, the soundtrack gets creepy because they played that Buddy Holly song. Every day it's getting closer, whatever the fuck.
And they start singing it, don't
they?
Yeah,
and then they have the little girl singing it, and then you see Chloe Savini, like, in this slow motion, windswept, hair blowing
well, it's like
headshot.
They're also, like, teaching this little girl stuff, too. It's like she sees this.
Uh-huh.
You know, like...
This is normal. This is what you do.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, she was explaining putting the tape on the nipples thing, and then you pull it off, or whatever.
Yeah, and... It's like, okay, so even if I'm given the benefit of looking at breasts, even then I'm just like, I can't enjoy this in any possible way. This is too fucked up. Way too fucked up. But yeah, then that creepy, the Buddy Holly song, which in and of itself shouldn't be creepy, but God, did it become creepy at that moment.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened after that scene? All I remember is Chloe Savini shaking her head in slow motion. I don't know why.
I have no idea, but one of the questions that comes up is like, the way this movie flows, is this all the same day?
I could never fathom that one
Or
either.
is this like a couple of days or a week? Because
I don't know.
so these characters never cross paths like again, and they never interact. You know, not quite.
Well, at one point, the sisters go to watch some kid playing tennis.
Yeah, but
and
that
he has
only
ADHD.
But that only serves then as a backdrop. Like, so the two girls don't interact with that kid playing tennis, but the kid playing tennis served as a backdrop to introduce us to that other character, that guy that was killing cats.
See, and this is the
there's a rival cat killer.
Yeah, Jesus.
But
Christ.
so the reason they're killing cats,
God.
they actually address this.
They
go to some kind of like
grocery store.
A grocery store, but not like a major chain grocery store. It just seems like one of those small town grocery stores.
Yep.
Grocery stores. Independently owned, yes. So the owner is paying them for dead cats.
Yep, bag of them.
I'm not sure.
Pay by the pound or by volume.
Right. So is he? So is he selling? Did you get that he's selling these to the Chinese restaurant? Dead cat.
Yep.
Dead
Caught
cats
that.
to the Chinese restaurant.
And so they make $13 off these fucking cats.
But so okay, as horrible as this sounds, that is not the weirdest thing about that scene.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What is, Chad?
That fucking Tumblr kid telling jokes.
Yes, and that happens throughout the movie.
Yes, he's telling this fucking joke that
you don't know it's a joke at first.
Right.
I thought, okay, he's telling a random story, but then it's painfully obvious there's a punchline coming.
But it's not.
It doesn't make sense.
It kind of makes sense, but it also doesn't, because I feel like this character is trying to tell a joke and be funny,
right?
But then he's not getting it. He's not getting the delivery, or he's not remembering it the correct way.
And we will find out why that is about 3 seconds from that joke when he asks the store owner, "Do you have any glue?"
Oh yeah, okay.
They're sniffing fucking glue throughout this whole movie.
These kids are sniffing glue.
Yep, and you get to one of those scenes not long after that.
So here's a disturbing fact. Harmony Korine.
Oh, Jesus.
Korine? I keep saying his name wrong. That's fine.
Give a fuck. Harmony. That guy, the kids guy.
The kids guy, the
You
director.
fucking asshole.
He's in this movie.
Yeah, of course he is. He was also in Kids. He always plays a horrible character.
So he said that it took about 45 minutes to cast this whole movie, and he would cast people from factories, juke joints, Burger Kings, and shit like that. Yeah. All of the characters were kind of like were just cast off of people.
Yeah, not actors.
Living their life in fucking Tennessee because it was shot in Tennessee.
Yep.
And the main character, this Tumblr, was on a talk show because he's a glue sniffer survivor.
Right. Because weren't they using footage of this throughout the movie?
I don't recall.
I'm pretty sure because they had the Tumblr kid talking about, and I just wanted to kill myself or whatever. What looks like a video interview.
Maybe that was. I guess I never picked up on that.
It looked like something you'd see on Donahue. Or
they interject these things at certain points of the movie.
A lot of them.
Where it's like, it'll just cut away and it'll be one of the characters doing something or saying something.
Right.
And it almost seemed like it was one of those like police interrogation.
Yes. That's
videos.
What it seemed like.
He's in an interrogation room being asked questions, and he's explaining why he fucking murdered somebody, which now makes sense because there is something in the movie that would lead me to believe that he went to jail.
Uh-huh. And
so
we leave off with him and fucking Solomon scoring modeling glue.
Model glue. Yeah.
They cop their modeling glue, right?
Yep.
And then, okay, this is where now it's like I'm remembering whatever disturbing scene comes to mind. How about what they do with the rest of their earnings? First, they get their milkshakes.
They buy milkshakes.
Yep. And then they go pay a visit.
Oh, so, yeah, okay, this makes sense now, because I think this is, like, part of the plot is they're hunting these cats.
Yes. They're making money off them.
They're making money off of it. They're like, let's go get some fucking milkshakes after they shot a cat to death or whatever and sold it. Or after they sold it, they're like, let's go get some milkshakes.
Right.
Like a seemingly normal activity when you're riding bikes around.
Oh, which I would assume would be. But then...
So they get their milkshakes, and then their next visit... This is.
Do you want to put this into words? Because
I will tell you exactly what fucking happens.
Please do.
They go visit a man who is pimping out his mentally challenged sister. So these guys are going to go pay this dude to have sex with his mentally challenged sister. So,
Lord. Things you can't fucking unsee.
It's very disturbing.
Well, what's disturbing is when the guy answers the door, he's wearing nothing but shorts, no shirt, and he's playing with his nipple.
Yes.
Did you catch that? He's constantly pinching and shaking his own fucking nipple. So the two kids walk in there, and they pay him.
Oh, no, what did he... Hold on. Here's another disturbing part. Prior to this, during their bicycle ride, he was telling... that Tumblr was telling the younger kid that he was like, yeah, you know what I'm going to do this weekend? I'm going to go to a mental institution.
I didn't catch this.
And he was like, I'm going to get some ass or something like that.
What? I didn't catch that part.
You might have to watch this piece of shit again.
No, I do not. Thank you for telling me about that so I don't have to watch this fucking movie again. I'm not borrowing that DVD from you again, Chad. That's all yours, cowboy. You get to own it.
I specifically bought this to review this.
Right. And of course, you wouldn't let me get out of it. I had the VHS. Well, Chad, I don't have a VCR. Well, I can't get my brother-in-law to burn me a copy. You know, my mom doesn't... She's not going to let me borrow her DVD player, you know. I can't watch it. You're watching it. Fuck!
Yeah, so, anyway, back to our current scene.
So
he pays... So this fucking guy, he has like a peephole on his sister, right?
Yeah,
Let me
like
go
you
check.
could slide
Let
the
me go
door
check
down a
and
little
see
bit.
if she's ready.
Yeah, but I think the thing that jarred me watching it was when he said, so you both want to fuck her? Like, it didn't say, so do you want to Bobby? No, it was just, so you both want to fuck her? Like, this is just the most normal thing in the world. Like what you'd say when you pick up a barfly or something. So you're going to fuck her? Yeah. No, so you want to fuck her? And then then you see the fucking broad. This poor little girl.
Well, she's not a little girl.
What?
She's not little. You know, she's not like a child.
Well, how old was she?
I would probably guess she would have probably been in her I'm going to say early 20s.
What?
I honestly think so.
Maybe it was because of her mental condition. I didn't think that. I thought child.
Yes, obviously her mental condition, like it had to have been, she was more like a child in her mental state. But I would say physically she was probably not a child.
Well, thank God you didn't see too much of her physically. You just saw her face. Made up in blue eyeshadow, blonde, curly hair, looking like Shirley fucking Temple. That, and in that brightly pink lit room was probably just... I can't burn it out of my head.
Maybe that was just my safety defense mechanism in my brain.
And that's what this movie does to you. Like when I talked about seeing the women with the tape on the breast.
Because now that you mention it, if I look any closer on the surface, maybe she was younger.
Well, that's what this movie does to you. You start creating these little safety nets.
I had to create an illusion to save my brain from seeing this.
Like I had to do with the women with the tape on their nipples. It's like, okay, well, they're actresses. They have to be legal. So I can look at this. When in the movie, no, they probably fucking weren't. God, Jesus. But anyway, back to Shirley Temple.
Yeah. So anyway, you don't see what goes on. It's heavily implied.
Well, of course. So you're ready to fuck her? Yeah, it's heavily implied. It's flat out stated.
So this Tumblr guy goes in there.
He goes in first,
and he's doing his thing. So then it leaves like that really kind of awkward situation between this guy, the pimp, and
her brother,
and Solomon.
Yep.
Or is that his name?
We're gonna say that's his name because who gives a shit? Solomon.
Whatever. Because Solomon is younger than this Tumblr, and it seems like he still has some moral ground attached to him.
A little bit, because when he eventually goes in,
it seems he shows this mentally challenged girl affection.
Yeah, he's actually nice to her. And
Nice to her.
They're having like a weird conversation.
Yeah.
Which, and that's where this movie also plays with you. It's like, are you empathizing with these horrific people at any point? And you kind of do for a split second. It's like, if there's any protagonist in this movie, it's Solomon.
Yep, I think I would agree with that. Even
though he's killing cats and fucking a mentally challenged woman. Yeah, he's still the one that, it's almost like he seems to be the only one that's aware of things that are wrong. Or aware enough to question it for a split second before going forward.
Right. Yep.
So anyway, that scene mercifully ends.
And then they throw, I don't know if this was before or after, because I cannot remember the flow of this movie. They throw in those like random twin bald-headed dudes.
Right, beating each other up in the kitchen.
In like a trailer or whatever.
And that was the only clean residents in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember they were standing in the kitchen, they're just, for whatever reason, punching each other, beating each other up.
Well, they were kind of verbal, like, giving each other like shit. I'll punch you harder. I'll punch you this, blah blah blah. And it's like,
but then they're done.
Yeah, they get into it a little bit and hit each other in the face, and
that was that.
It wasn't like a real fight. It was just kind of like brotherly banter.
Yeah, because at one point one of them's like, "What, you fucking hit me in the face?" You know, like that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, you're not supposed to hit me in the face. And then it turns into that. All right,
but I just observed.
All right, I'll let you hit me. Just don't tell mom. You know,
I just observed that was the one clean residence in the entire movie. It was actually clean in there.
Yeah, and like I don't know if it was like the least shocking.
It was the least shocking.
The least shocking interaction between two characters, probably.
Oh, by far.
It was weird, and it made you feel uncomfortable.
Yep. So okay, what are we gonna dive into next?
I don't even fucking know where to go because they just keep pummeling you with
you can't
all sorts of weird shit.
Right. I mean, okay, so literally, let's face it, Chad. All we're going to do is discuss scenes in the movie.
Well, yeah, that's the
all
point
we can do.
That's the point of the review.
Right. But so let's just go to.
Let me take a moment and drink this beer and see if it's colder.
Okay, you drink the beer.
Josh brought over warm beer like we're fucking 14 years old.
No, like if we were in Germany, have some culture. Yeah.
I'm drinking a Coors.
Enjoy your Coors.
A Coors Banquet in the United States. This beer ain't meant to be fucking warm.
Nobody told you to drink it.
You're right.
Uh-huh.
You are correct there.
Thanks.
But we did put them in the freezer.
We're not savages here. Come on.
It's fine. Ice cold beer water.
Now you're talking. No, Coors Light would be beer water.
Oh, that's right. This is the good stuff.
Yes. This is the Smokey and the Bandit beer.
Ooh. Come on, man.
What the fuck was that? Why? Why did you look at your can like you were looking at your wife and go, ooh? What the fuck? I gotta know. What are you oohing, Chad?
Just the aesthetics of the can. Golden, Colorado. It has like a mountain range and a waterfall and some pine trees. And
I'm going to remind everyone, no notes were taken during this podcast. That was just too fucking weird.
Brewed with 100% Rocky Mountain water.
You are trying like hell to get Gummo out of your head right now, aren't you?
We need a tangent. We need to go off on a tangent.
Well, there's your tangent. Fucking cool. What the fuck? Oh, God.
Hey, did you listen?
I don't want to talk about Gummo anymore.
Did you listen to anything new?
Well, there we go. A little callback. Well, I tell you what, Chad. Insofar as that goes, the most I can really say about that is I unearthed a bunch of compilation CDs that I had made from years ago by one Harley Olsthorne of Jam Productions. Jam, jockey and music. Best DJ in the business. So I've been listening to just random fucking shit that only my blasted brain can come up with. But no, I'm on my usual Skinnerd kick. But I will say, if you want to get a window into what my current personal life is like, I've been playing the hell out of AC/DC Power Ridge, and I have not been listening to any Billy Joel. And that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I bought some storage containers for my vinyl records, so
hey.
I've been re-sleeving everything and sticking them in a nice storage box. Digging, I got a stack of vinyls that I'm either going to trade or give away or something. You're more than welcome to look at them if you want any.
Hell yeah, I'm a scavenger. I still regret trading Master of Reality to you. That was a fucking dumb move on my part, and I gotta live with it.
Yep.
Go on.
Yep. So, yeah, I've been doing that. I mean, you see the resurgence in Metallica and Master of Puppets? You hear about that?
Why is everyone so obsessed, number one, with Stranger Things, and number two, who the fuck is Kate Bush, and why is she on my newsfeed every goddamn day?
Okay, so number one, Stranger Things, I think, is a really good show. It's a cool sci-fi horror show.
I'm sure it is, but I don't watch TV. I don't care.
I'm good. I'm good with that. It's a good show. So in it, they have a set of characters that play Dungeons and Dragons. It's an ongoing theme from the first season on to whatever season they're on now. I can't tell you, 4 or 5, I don't know.
Right.
So they're nerds. Okay?
As you are.
So one of the nerd kids ends up playing basketball and is a little popular now and doesn't play so much. So he doesn't make it to their club?
Sure, club.
I've played Dungeons and Dragons a few times and I still don't know what it's coven.
I never have. I just never have.
Yeah. So so anyway, they have this group that gets together and plays, and like the guy that's the dungeon master,
Sure.
is like the stereotypical 80s metalhead guy.
Okay. Is this where Dio comes into effect and everything else?
I don't know, but it's like it's a guy. It's definitely a guy we are or know.
Sure.
You know, the blue jean jacket with the band patches on it and the fucking long hair, and the loser in high school that nobody gave a shit about because he liked heavy metal.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to go to therapy. Go on.
So anyway, he's like the head of their club and shit.
All right.
And I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, and I'm not even there myself in the show. But there's a part where this character plays on a very metal-looking guitar that they do a good job of foreshadowing in the earlier episodes of the season. You see it on the wall in his trailer, the trailer park he lives in with his probably divorced dad or whatever.
Sure.
So it's like it's a BC Rich warlock.
Okay.
So that's his guitar, and they show it, and he whatever. But he at some point in this show he plays Metallica's Master of Puppets.
Okay.
The song.
Yes.
On guitar.
Okay.
In one of the scenes.
All right.
So what this has done is it has boosted younger people's awareness of the greatness of Master of Puppets.
See, and I can't believe anyone would even need anything to make them aware of Metallica.
That record came out like 39 years ago.
Yeah, and yet if you say Metallica, everyone knows what the hell you're talking about.
But also, younger people don't.
So they go to their older brother and even their father or their grandfather's record collection and find that.
Maybe they don't. Maybe their parents are squares.
Squares?
Yeah, dude, squares.
You realize the definition of square has changed a lot since that term came into.
Absolutely, but there is this boosted popularity because of this show, because they showed the scene of this dude ripping fucking Master of Puppets, and the actor that plays the character actually plays guitar and actually plays it.
Oh, I'm well aware because,
so
like I said, it's all over my news feed.
It actually looks,
Well, you being the guitarist, you could tell if it was real or bullshit.
It looks good.
Okay.
Compared to some shows that show people playing instruments, it looked great. Because he actually played it.
All right.
And it was pretty cool. And it has exploded. That and the Kate Bush song.
Yeah. Who the hell is she, and why do I give a fuck?
I've heard that song before, but I've never heard it from Kate Bush until this show.
I think if I heard it, I'd go, "Oh yeah, that."
You haven't heard it?
I don't know if I have or not. I don't watch TV. I live in a fucking hole, Chad.
Oh, okay. Well, then I challenge you to just take a listen to that song and see if it's recognizable. You don't have to like it.
I have no problem doing that. Since you've thrown down the gauntlet, I will do that when I leave here. That's fine.
Because I recognize it, but I actually recognize it from a different band that covered it. Completely unrelated to this.
Well, who is the band that covered it?
Placebo. It's a band called Placebo.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
I think I think the one who sent me the Gummel fucking VHS was a Placebo fan.
So, yeah.
She would have had to have been. It's the only way I know who the hell they were. Which, but I did watch the new Elvis movie.
Oh, is that any good?
This is kind of how I describe it.
So I did not. I watched the Freddie Mercury one.
Bohemian Rhapsody, of course.
I did not watch the Elton John one.
Don't.
So I felt that Freddie Mercury was fairly portrayed.
For the most part, yeah.
It may not have been the most historically accurate representation of the band and
timeline
events.
Was off.
But I felt that it did it justice.
It did.
And any surviving and remaining members felt it was respectful enough.
Sure.
Even on par with The Dirt, because The Dirt was believable with the characters cast, even though it was a little more embellished than the actual versions.
Right, and they had to compress the timeline on a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
Same with the Queen movie. I mean, I'm the one dickhead that's sitting in the theater when they do the Fat Bottom Girl scene going, that fucking song wasn't released till 1978. How could they have played it on their first tour? Yeah, I'm the only one that's like noticing shit like that. But it's like, okay, just shut up and enjoy this for what it is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Rocket Man, the Elton John movie, I put that in the same category as I put the Elvis movie of, I'm glad I watched it. It was enjoyable for what it was. I feel no need to watch it again. And I guess I say that because...
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
From what I know about the Elvis movie,
sure,
they left out the part where Forrest Gump teaches him how to dance.
Those motherfuckers, they did. That sly Baz Luhrmann bastard. But, Jesus Christ. But no, actually, now that you mentioned historical inaccuracies or whatever, no, amazingly enough, and you have to, when discussing that movie, you have to address who directed it. It was Baz Luhrmann.
And he has done what else?
Romeo and Juliet, that 90s Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, okay.
Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
Basically, his style.
That's very stylized.
It very much so. And the only reason I even know who the hell he is because my ex-wife was a massive fan of his. Her favorite movie, I'm pretty sure, was Moulin Rouge. That's the only reason I'm even aware of Baz Luhrmann. So, of course, as you're getting to know somebody, he's like, hey, watch Moulin Rouge. So I watched that and felt like somebody kicked my brain for 2 hours just because it's just very, how do you describe it?
Is it because it's a musical?
Not so much that.
Because I'm not a musical fan.
I hate musicals.
I like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then it ends there.
Pretty much, but no, it's like,
damn it, Janet.
I love you. Oh, damn it. All right, anyway, fuck it. But, no, it's like Moulin Rouge. Busy is the word I always think of. A lot of seeming like from one scene to another, to another, to another. And very bright, very, sparkly, very just vibrant, And then Romeo and Juliet, I will say in theory was a fucking brilliant idea. Modernized Shakespearean dialogue.
Oh, yeah. I loved their swords.
But if you...
they were handguns.
Handguns. But if you watch the movie, it is like a migraine. You are spending the entire time trying to reconcile wherefore art thou when a handgun is pointed at you. It doesn't make sense. It's meant to basically just disorient you, which it did.
Well, at least they stayed true to the source material on that.
They did, and that was the thing.
I loved that gas station scene where he's like, do I bite my thumb at you? I mean, how many times have you been at a gas station and you're like, hey, fuckhead?
Right. But no, that was the whole thing. It was very
I bite my thumb at you, sir.
Right. But no, Romeo and Juliet was disorienting. But I'm glad I watched it. Moulin Rouge was just an assault on the senses, but I'm glad I watched it. Elvis, oddly enough, historically did keep with the timeline. It was well done, historically accurate. It hammered home the fact that Elvis Presley was a goddamn good-looking guy. He's a fucking stud.
Did they mention Johnny Cash at all?
No.
Because, in the Johnny Cash movie, they
mentioned Elvis.
They mentioned Elvis.
The amphetamines and all this.
Yeah.
But no, Johnny Cash wasn't in it. But they had, like, the original singer of That's All Right, Mama and all this.
Okay.
It was very accurate, but it was Baz Luhrmann accurate. It was very bright. It was meant to pummel your senses, which it did. But yeah, it was one of those movies that it was good. I would give it a fucking A+ rating. It was a goddamn good movie. but don't feel the need to watch it again. Same way I feel about Moulin Rouge, same way I feel about Rocket Man. A good movie, glad I watched it. I would recommend anybody watch it at least once. I have no need to watch it ever again. And meanwhile, I took my daughter to it. She is demanding that DVD as soon as it comes out. She loved it, but she's also a girl, you know. Yeah, if you're a guy, you're probably not going to want to watch it more than once unless, well, you have certain proclivities, which is how Baz Luhrmann's directorial style works.
So
he's good at what he does. So damn good.
My grandma was a big Elvis fan, from what I understand.
Sure.
But I don't know. I've never really listened to Elvis. I know a couple of songs. I know that he was in some movies. I know that they call him the king of rock and roll. I was just never interested in it very much.
I'll tell you why they call him the king of rock
well,
and roll.
hold on.
Go ahead.
So let's in his heyday. What was this? Late 50s up to the 70s when he died, somewhere in there. His heyday
Kind of always was.
Let's say before his peak.
Sure.
Before the Hawaii stuff. Blue Hawaii or whatever.
We got to win this race.
Yeah. Did dudes dig him too?
I'm pretty fucking sure.
Were like dudes into the music and they weren't like called gay or anything about liking the Elvis music?
Well, yeah, Elvis was just
like it wasn't like, oh, that's like a chick artist. Only chicks like that dude.
No, I mean that's the whole thing.
Okay, so I realize what I'm saying now. Obviously, he had some kind of weight and pull because he influenced countless other artists.
Elvis is the reason why Elvis was effective is for the same reason Van Halen was effective. The guys wanted to be him. The girls wanted to be with him. That was Elvis. Everyone wanted to look and act like Elvis.
So here's the power of Elvis to me. Every time I hear Blue Suede Shoes, it's fucking Black Sabbath doing Blue Suede Shoes.
Oh, God, and Ozzy's misquoted lyrics or whatever.
Yeah.
In the kitchen with the broom. It's like, fuck, okay.
So, all right, I know the power of Elvis. I get it now. All right, my favorite band in the world fucking.
But no, straight up, though. I mean, that's the whole thing about Elvis was, I still say, and I'm going to go back, the reason why he's the king of rock and roll, if he was named John Presley, we wouldn't be talking about him. Elvis is such an uncommon fucking name. You don't forget it. If he was Bob Presley.
What about Little Richard, man?
Little Richard was a whole other ballgame. You know, Lemmy absolutely outlined why.
I feel like maybe Little Richard should have been the king of rock and roll.
He should have, but there's one reason he wasn't. One reason only.
Because he's black and people are fucking assholes.
Right.
But still, I mean,
Elvis was a white guy.
Fucking Little Richard had Jimi fucking Hendrix playing guitar with him, man.
You're fucking right, he did. Little Richard, I mean, like Lemmy said, imagine being a gay black man in the South at that time. The stones you had to have, you know, wearing makeup and shit. But no, and
God,
it's been addressed.
He was so cool too. He'd be like, "What's up, baby?" Even talking to men. Just fucking
Dave Grohl's story about him.
Coolest dude.
Dave Grohl's story about him was this. Well, God bless you.
fucking Little Richard, man. He's where it's at.
Fucking right. You goddamn right. I mean, but no, that's been addressed with Elvis Presley for fucking decades. Is a white man playing black music is why it worked. Well, and that was the horrific world that was around at the time.
There's countless other artists doing that.
Right, but nobody
Zeppelin
ever did it to the degree.
Eric Clapton did it. The Stones did it.
Nobody did it to the degree that Elvis did because he was the first. But he also did something else. He took black music and the whitest form of music you can imagine, which was country, and throwing some gospel in there, which is both. It was that whole combination. And that name. I still say if he had been fucking Jim Presley, he wouldn't have been as big.
I don't know. Jim Presley might have been a fucking country artist.
Well, for sure. But no, Elvis was an exotic name.
Elvis.
It's an exotic name. It's a fucking...
Now, that's his birth name, right?
Yes.
That's not like... That wasn't
No,
like
that was not a stage name. That was his birth name.
That was his real... Some people are just fucking born with good names, man.
He was given that name as far as I'm concerned. That and he was impossibly good looking. I don't give a fuck. I'm straight as the day is fucking long. God damn it, Elvis Presley was a fucking good looking guy. Jesus. I mean, like, impossibly good looking. That should not have been possible. But he was. He fucking was. You take... he was just the perfect storm. You take that name. I still maintain it's the name. You take that name. You take that face. You take that talent. He could sing. He was goddamn talented.
Yeah, he could sing, but then Then he fucking stole that Forrest Gump's moves, man. That's where it was at, them hips.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Swanging them hips around.
Okay, whether it was Forrest Gump or some black guy in a juke joint, he had the balls to be doing this hip swinging in the 1950s. Jesus, that fucking did scare people because that's a coitus motion he's doing, and he's doing it with clothes on. I mean, the bitches went nuts for it because they couldn't not go nuts.
the bitches.
The bitches went nuts.
Oh man,
give a fuck.
The bitches.
The truth.
The bitches.
And you know what?
Hey, you know what else? You know what else bitches like?
Weed and money.
Disney. Bitches like Disney.
What the fuck are you talking? You're quoting something. Or did you just come up with that?
I didn't just come up with that.
You've been sitting on this?
I've been saying it for a while.
Why?
The origin of which I cannot remember, but I'm pretty sure some beers might have been involved and other.
Actually, here's the thing. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The broads do like Disney.
I know. I don't
even want to dive into this, but
to be politically correct, we probably shouldn't say the bitches, but we know the difference, and we're using it for.
Okay, the broads then. The ladies. I
think the broads is almost as bad. That fucking. Did you check out the gams on that broad?
Oh, come on. Let's have some. We're not savages here.
We're not savages. We kind of are.
Oh, we're very much. You got a caveman beard, and well, I'm me. But I'm using the term bitches constantly.
The bitches.
Okay, fair enough. All right. The ladies.
I don't want to
offend anybody. All three listeners.
No, it's not that I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't want to alienate any female listeners. Here at the One More Last Time podcast, we love bitches.
Here at the One More Last Time podcast, what the hell? Okay, all female listeners, I'll name them off right now. Anybody that could possibly be listening. Hey, Janice, how you doing? I highly doubt you're offended by bitches. Barb, if you're somehow listening to this, which I doubt, hello. Rachel, see you at work, and who was the last one? All right, Kristen, if you ever did decide to dive into this, how the hell are you? Wishing
and
you
not
well.
to mention, there's Crystal.
Crystal, hi, Crystal.
And Sarah.
Hey, Sarah, how the hell do I forget Sarah?
I don't know.
What are we doing? Mambo number fucking 5? A little bit of Sarah in my life, a little bit of Rachel on the side. Jesus Christ.
Well, we went there.
Yeah, went where? There's nobody on the side. There's nobody in front of me.
Look, I started with Gummo, and now I'm at fucking Mambo number 5.
I'm fine with that. I'd rather go off on this fucking tangent and never go near Gummo again, because I think I don't want to go back. Chad, I don't want to do it. I realize you're going to tag this One More Last Time episode, whatever the fuck, Gummo. I don't give a fuck if it's not anything to do with Gummo. We already outlined all the disturbing shit.
Oh, no, there's more.
Oh, like the pedophile who picks up the 3 sisters and tries to fucking...
Yes, let's go back. All right, we're going back into Gummo. So,
nothing new for trash like you, I believe is what he said to him.
Yeah, so he fucking coerced them.
With the cat.
Because their cat came up missing, the pregnant cat, that they were going to drown the babies in the lake or river or whatever the fuck body of water. So they're
putting up flyers.
That's the beer. They're hanging up these flyers
with a picture of a black cat, as if that's gonna narrow it down.
Yeah, and this fucking guy, was he wearing like a button-down shirt?
I think so. He looked very professional, gray-haired.
Well, professional for whatever time period this fucking movie takes place in.
Late 90s.
Well, okay, I would agree late 90s because of the time period it was released, but this fucking tornado that the movie's based on happened in like the 70s.
Yes, but this is the land that time forgotten. Let's address this.
But the
random band t-shirts.
Hold on.
Why?
That fucking Solomon kid said, I saw a girl fly through the air.
Yes.
So if this movie... Oh, never mind. It was just based on a fucking tornado. Never mind.
Listen, where the hell are you going?
I was going to say, like, if he witnessed it, then... Wouldn't it have been in the 70s? But I guess they never really said.
No, it looked 70s because of the grainy footage.
Yeah, but the vehicles aren't. They're more like
they're all modern.
Well,
for that time
the late
period.
90s is like almost 30.
Yeah, but they looked modern for the late 90s.
Years ago. Yeah, you're right, because he was driving like a fucking Chrysler or something.
And that's the whole idea behind the band shirts. That this is the land that time forgot, because I made a mental note of, God, there was a Crocus shirt being worn.
There was a Crocus shirt.
A Dio shirt, and a Poison shirt.
Wasn't there a Def Leppard shirt, too?
I don't remember the Def Leppard one.
So the other three girls,
Yes.
they were hanging out with like these other women having their nails painted. And,
right.
And so in that scene,
I don't want sparkles.
One of the weirdest things I thought about it is like their feet were exceptionally dirty.
Well, I think that was the whole point. I think that's Harmony Korine and his focus on one random thing real quick. Dirty feet. Well, of course they were dirty. Their houses were filthy.
Yeah, I felt like that was just off-putting and odd. But anyway,
Well, that's what the whole movie's meant to be.
Well,
off-putting and odd.
the other mentally challenged girl in the film.
The one that's carrying the doll around?
Yeah, the one carrying the doll around. And let's talk about that fucking scene.
Please.
Not the first one where they kind of introduce that character. That's right around the time with the fucking tennis-playing ADHD kid with the mullet.
Yep, and he was like the stud.
To them, but they
To
really...
them.
They really
That's the whole thing is to them.
they didn't really, like, introduce many more characters.
I think that there were so many characters. Come on, the kitchen scene.
So, yeah, we'll get to that real shortly.
Oh, Lord.
But, so anyway, you know, the handicapped girl
Uh-huh.
with the baby doll,
Yes.
I think she was wearing a Def Leppard shirt.
God, I would have to go back in my memory bank because I ain't watching the fucking movie again. I think you may be right. Let's say you're right. Okay, so that's 4 bands. There was Crocus, which I thought, wow,
Now,
that's
okay,
random.
so my working theory on this is perhaps Harmony Korine is a fan of these bands and is just kind of throwing a little nod to something
No.
he likes.
I'm going to tell you no right away.
All right, let's hear your theory on it.
Well, my theory is based, again, on what Harmony Korine said. Chloe Savini was the costume designer for that movie.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure, I can't be 100% accurate, I'm pretty sure her whole idea was to go into thrift stores
Okay.
and grab random shit.
Well, that would make sense
Now-
given the time period, right?
Now, in the late 90s, if you went to a thrift store, nobody was going to, I've talked about this on the podcast, nobody was going to wear a Poison shirt on purpose, except as some form of irony. You know, Dio, nobody gave a damn about Dio in the late 90s. Crocus, people now don't know who the fuck Crocus is, you know? So, yeah, all these things that were in thrift stores.
Just dudes like us who wore blue jean jackets with
Right.
band patches on them that were losers in high school.
Right, I told you the story about being at a
That party or whatever. With
wearing a Motley Crue shirt, and the guy's like, "Do you really like them, or are you just being ironic?"
And then he I guess snuck out and fucking listened to Shout at the Devil or something.
Well, no. Here's what it was. I'll tell it again because it's good.
I don't mean to sound queer or nothing,
Right.
but I think Shout at the Devil totally kicks ass.
Well, it was sort of like that. No, I was outside with this guy smoking a joint, fucking, and I'm wearing
I love this story because we've told it like 5 times.
It's so good. I'll repeat it. But no, I'm outside smoking a joint with this guy. Late '90s, you know, we would call the heavy metal vomit parties. And in the late '90s, Pantera was the only band we all had in common. But you'd have everything from fucking industrial shit to whatever the hell. But no, I'm wearing a Motley Crue shirt, and I'm not doing it to be funny. I'm doing it because I loved Motley Crue, and this guy taking a hit with him, and he was in a punk band. He goes, dude, he kind of, it's like, dude, you wearing that shirt to be funny, or do you really like him? And I was like, I fucking love Motley Crue. I got this at their concert. And he kind of looks around, leans in, like, dude, me too. I used to watch him on Headbangers Ball all the time with my sister. And I'm like, oh, dude, why not just admit that then? And I don't recall his response. But no, but yeah, we were those high school losers, never made it with the ladies, as Steven Tyler sang in Walk This Way. Fucking, I didn't give a fuck. That's what I liked. But no, I think what they were doing with this
backstroke
lover was
fucking Aerosmith,
say
man.
that like it's past tense, but no fucking cheers. But no fucking no. That's what it was. Chloe Savini was the costume designer, and I'm pretty sure
it was thrift store finds.
Yeah, she found these band shirts in thrift stores like Crocus.
Like obviously nobody's gonna buy the shit because it's shit.
Yeah, a Poison shirt that somebody threw away, or a Dio shirt or whatever. Yeah, and that's what these kids were wearing in this movie because that's what all they had. They didn't know any better.
Right.
You know, so that was the whole thing. Is there was no irony to any of it, and there was no Harmony Korine is secretly a metal fan. Don't give him that kind of credit at all.
Noted.
Duly noted.
Anyway, where was I going?
Really
Okay, so we're working up to this fucking kitchen scene that you've mentioned a few times. Let's take a little sidetrack on the kitchen scene and discuss the scene with Harmony Korine.
Oh.
What in the holy fuck
Was that?
was that? And the point.
I'll tell you the point, and I'll tell you why.
Does he? Okay, so does he? I'm sorry to walk all over you right now, but
I'm gonna walk all over you. Sorry. I totally fucked you.
Yeah, all I think is Megadeth. Fucking these boots.
Megadeth. That's AC/DC.
Megadeth. These boots are made for
AC/DC gonna walk all over you.
Megadeth did
AC/DC.
Nancy Sinatra, man.
Yeah, and AC/DC did AC/DC.
And that's okay.
Out of my way, gonna run and hide.
Where
Fucking
was
right.
I?
I don't know. Harmony Korine and the midget black guy. Yeah, on the couch, and you couldn't figure out why that scene happened. It's easy why that scene happened.
I know where I'm at now. Do you suppose that he views himself, Harmony Korine, as some kind of does somebody who has just subjected you to shock value just to have the shock value? Think John Waters.
I think even John Waters probably had more of a point and having less of a point. No, I think Harmony Korine, this is where I'm actually going to take up for the guy. That scene was the only one that really made sense to me because it was this guy saying, I never got any love, you know. I'm trapped on this couch with this black midget.
Trapped? Okay.
Trapped mentally, really. It was basically, this is desperation. This is the desperation of this town, of this situation. Can I kiss you?
Do you realize that? Well, here's my takeaway.
What's your
takeaway? In this scenario, in this movie, the black dwarf is
okay. You want to get politically correct now, little person?
Look, I'm using the same words Harmony Korine used when he did it in the special features. He said dwarf,
and that's all fine and good. Harmony Korine can use that word all he wants. Harmony Korine made fucking Gummo. Fuck him. He's not my barometer of taste.
Do you not think that maybe the black midget, little person,
thank you very much,
was a prostitute?
No, I don't. Because he was seen in the kitchen later. He's a resident of that town.
I think that's what made it bizarre. Maybe they were just down and extra. But I feel that scene is this dude is getting drunk.
Yes.
Dude, this is a strip club. You get drunk.
That's
like at the strip club, you get drunk, pay for the private dance, and you just fucking talk the ear off of the stripper.
No, that's what I do because she's wearing a Ramones shirt, and I couldn't have given a fuck about the dance. I just wanted someone to talk to because I
exactly the biggest tippers at strip clubs are dudes that just want to talk, and I feel like this scene is like that. This guy gets drunk and is talking to his paid prostitute.
But then wouldn't the prostitute agree to fuck him though?
But he didn't. Did he really say that he was going to do that?
No, I think he asked if he could kiss him.
Okay. Alternatively, I see your point.
Uh-huh.
Alternatively,
all right.
Is this just a drunken interaction of two people at a party? And let's work this into what the next scene is about the kitchen.
That's a goddamn good question.
Is this a party where you got a fucking drunken guy just talking to somebody he doesn't know, and he's too drunk, and he gives too many personal details about what have you.
Right.
And that he's so drunk, he's like, can I have a hug?
Yeah, I'll give you a hug. But he keeps groping him and all this
it's like
random shit.
Yeah, just kind of caressing this man.
Okay, now that you mention it, that scene was rather pointless. But I just saw it as, okay, this is just another example of desperation.
And then he dumps the beer on his head.
You've never dumped a beer on your head?
No. Why would I do that?
I've spit beer.
This is the nectar of the gods.
Yeah, this is the nectar now.
Why would you waste? It was like half a beer, at least.
I don't know, sir. And I can never figure out how they were drinking what appeared to me to be imported beer if
Heineken.
they're that goddamn poor.
A Heineken.
Yeah, they were drinking Heineken. These people are poor as shit. Where are they getting fucking Heineken?
Exactly.
They should be drinking Milwaukee's Best or something like that, you know? But no, they were having green glass bottles of Heineken. I could never reconcile that one either.
That's where their production money went for the film.
Evidently.
Import beers.
But no.
So I don't know if it like launched directly into the kitchen scene after that.
It didn't. There's no way it did.
There was some other shit.
Because I kept waiting for that stupid scene because I thought, okay, I see the kitchen scene. That means the end is near.
Well, let's double back just a little, and I know I've said this. Okay, so the tennis guy, right?
Mullet guy.
The mullet guys. In that same scene, they panned from him playing tennis over to like a park bench with 2 dudes sitting on it, and then you have a bench. Was it a bench?
I don't know, sir.
You have Tumblr and Solomon confront this other guy.
Oh, about the cats.
About the cats, because the grocery store owner
said you got some competition.
You got some competition. So yeah, we'll get into that. So we're at the point where they go to confront this guy.
Right, their competition.
So he's obviously homosexual of some sort, and that's fine. Everything's cool.
And that's cool. No, he starts going into detail about how he has to take care of his grandma.
Right, well, yeah. So they at first, when I first saw this, I thought they were going to try to divvy out an ass kicking.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's competition.
Right.
So it seemed seemingly normal.
Sure.
That, I guess.
As normal as it could be when you're in cat killing competition.
Right. And this guy does not seem like he would be one to kill cats.
No.
So they asked him how he did it, and he said that he was putting glass in tuna fish and
rat poison
or something, and like sticking it by the dumpsters behind random stores or whatever.
Yeah. To
get the strays.
Sure.
That's pretty shocking.
You were shocked by that? I think by this point I'd been so fucking mind wiped that didn't even shock me. I just thought, oh, no, that's one way to kill a cat.
Well,
I mean, just seriously, that's how warped I got into this movie. Was just
that's one way to fucking kill a cat.
That's just all I thought. It wasn't. Oh my God, they're poisoning cats. It was, well, that's one way to do it.
You're correct.
Harmony, you fucker.
That would possibly be one way to kill a cat.
Sure.
I've never met anybody that just kills cats.
Nor have I, although I do know that one phrase I heard quite a bit was, well, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Well,
and it never occurred to me that that's an inherently disturbing image.
Right.
I still say it, and I guess up till now, I never thought, God, that's fucking awful.
So that interaction happens with these characters,
right.
and then they just kind of leave.
Yeah, nothing is ever done about this.
Nothing happened right there.
No.
So then we move on, and let's talk now about that kitchen scene, because this is another scene that makes zero sense, and it doesn't move the story forward. I feel
it doesn't, but at the same time,
it also it doesn't move the story forward, but you get a sense of how these characters are.
Right, and that's the scene that always stood out to me, because probably how many white trash gatherings I've been a part of, and of course, there's one character in this scene that's fucking. And none of them wearing shirts, by the way.
So, first, they're in a kitchen.
And
they're fucking arm wrestling.
Right.
And they're all drunk of some sort.
Yep. And in fact, the Tumblr and his dad are there. The black little person is there.
I forgot about his dad.
Yeah,
because they covered that. Him and his dad riding in a car.
Yep. And what was mom like and all this other nonsense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a little bit of character development, but it's...
Right. Still, yeah, what character development?
Well, but the main character I would say is Solomon, and the secondary character is Tumblr, and Tumblr's fucked up.
Yeah, and it's painfully obvious why he's getting drunk with his dad in a kitchen on what I assume is probably a Tuesday night.
Yeah, but yeah, this is not a party night. This is not the weekend. I would gather.
No, and the reason why this resonated so much with me is just because there's always one particular memory that'll stand out to me in my personal life was being in a kitchen in Ventura one night with some lady, if you will, and then her friends that came over, and we were all sitting in this kitchen on what I'm pretty sure was a Monday night getting drunk. And I remember Gummo going through my head as I'm sitting in this kitchen getting drunk with these people. I'm pretty sure arm wrestling may have happened at some point, and I remember the line, I'm living in the middle of Gummo, going through my head over and over, and I can't tell anyone in this kitchen how I'm feeling right now because this is normal to them.
Yeah, you're living it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean when I say I've lived Gummo, because I've sat in kitchens in Iowa on a weeknight getting drunk with people for no inherent reason.
But did it go as far as this fucking...
Destroying the table? No.
It was so bizarre. Like, okay, I get it. You guys, obviously you're alcoholics. You're drinking on a fucking Tuesday or whatever, middle of the week or whatever it is.
Sure.
And your 6, 15, 14-year-old son is joining in. It kind of reminds me of Bender from
The Breakfast Club.
Smoke Up Johnny. Yeah, Smoke Up Johnny.
But
that kind of a deal.
But oddly enough, that scene was the only one that, to me, was the least disturbing.
Well,
because nobody was getting raped.
Yep,
nobody was getting killed. It was these drunk, white trash, shirtless people
arm wrestling, and then they got destroying shit. Then they got their chicks to arm wrestle.
Yeah, and then destroying shit.
Then Then the one guy, who was this guy? Party man. He was like the most. He was like the most shirt offed, fucked up guy. He was like party man. You know what I'm talking about. That guy.
I do.
Hey, let's fucking arm wrestle. Give me another beer.
Give me the table. I'm gonna destroy the table.
Watch this. Fucking.
But that's the damn thing. Is that whole scene?
Then he starts like fucking
wrestling the chair.
Like fucking WWF style wrestling a chair.
They wrestle the chair. Then the bigger, hairy guy destroys the chair after he destroyed the table, pulled the legs off and everything. But that was the thing. Is that was the scene that was the least disturbing to me because like I fucking have seen this. Too many times.
Well, I can't disagree. There's been times where it's like, hey, I'm bored, let's drink, and then there's some destruction happening.
Yeah, that was the only one that made any sense.
I once went to a bonfire and shot a refrigerator with a handgun.
No, I've never done that.
So, whatever.
But, fucking...
And the midget, little person, from that one scene was there.
Yep, he was... arm wrestling. And he beat the gigantic guy. Hey, the big man, the little man, let's go. And yeah, he beat the big man, and the big man got pissed off, upended the table, tore the legs off, and started destroying shit.
And everyone had a good laugh about it.
And he's yelling, fuck y'all, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
While he's drinking a Budweiser, and everyone else is drinking Heineken.
Sure, yeah.
But no, that scene was the only one that not only was the least disturbing, but was the most realistic and the one that disturbed me the most because it's like, my God, I've lived this, and this is what this looks like from the outside.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
There are a lot of aspects of some of these scenes that are very shocking and jarring and off-putting.
Right.
But some of the aspects, being from a small town like we are,
right.
I see that. Yeah. I see that stuff in the people that surround me.
Right, and the kitchen scene was the one that hit me the hardest because, like, again, I've lived this, and I don't like that I've lived this at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on, please.
Okay, so...
Do we get to where they break into the grandma's house?
I'm gonna just start heading us there now.
Go right there.
So the competition guy that's also killing cats, he's killing these cats for a little extra money to take care of his grandma, who
is in a coma.
They lead us to believe she's sick somehow.
Yeah, they don't really exactly.
So Tumblr and Solomon break into this guy's house,
and there's a bathtub scene we have to get to after.
That's towards the end, I think.
I couldn't even decipher when.
Or at least that's towards the end in my narrative.
Come on, there's the tap dancing scene.
I think that's kind of like the same sort of pace towards the end of the film.
Yeah, fuck if I know. But go on, they break into this old broad's
So they
house.
break into this house.
Sorry, old lady.
I don't know what exactly they're trying to do, but they're wearing masks.
They're not just wearing any masks. They're wearing clown masks.
Yeah, like the rubber vinyl.
Full on rubber with hair poking out of them.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, it's like, okay, they're wearing the mask, but nobody's going to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
This is going to disguise them?
Right. Well, that's their half-assed attempt.
I guess.
Or the best they can muster.
With the BB guns that they were using earlier in the day strapped to their backs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at that point, they go rifling through
this
shit.
This must take course of a single day. This must be like a single day's worth of activity for these people.
I'm pretty sure. Because, yeah, they break in there.
And they're rummaging around in this kid's bedroom.
Yeah, they never explained why they're rummaging around. Were they
no,
looking for
I
money
had no
or
idea.
What?
I don't know what they were doing.
But then they find the photos.
Yep, the photo
of this kid in drag.
Yep.
And then they find the magazines.
Yep.
Gay porno
Well, there was a
magazines.
bunch of like regular porno mags,
And then on
towards,
the bottom
towards the bottom was
the gay porno mag.
gay porno mags, and that's fine. I'm not going to discriminate against anyone for any kind of stuff like that.
No, but it becomes yet another jarring thing that Harmony likes to throw into his movies. Okay, here's the straight
And I could
gay porn.
I could see it if this sort of imply. Well,
Implies.
hold on. They're not necessarily implying that it's the South because it's in Ohio, which
Right.
I don't feel is the South.
It's not the
but
South.
I could see why this kid would hide
Well, shit, yes.
being gay.
You
Because
hide that in the Midwest, for God's sake.
sure.
There were guys I went to school with that were very obviously gay, but did not come out until long after they graduated. And that's in Iowa, where we were one of the first states to legalize gay marriage.
We were the first.
We were. You're right. We were the first, and people were still scared shitless to come out because, what are you, queer or something? You know, fucking no. I don't give a shit how open-minded we think we are. We're not. We're fucking not. Fuck, man. Here's another good story for you about heavy metal vomit parties. I went to a party one time in the late 90s, and it was your typical heavy metal underage kids getting drunk party or whatever the fuck. The parents were out of town, and I remember at one point there's just like, you know, when there's a vibe around one person. Well, I'm the type of guy that's gonna ask why, and pulled one guy aside and said, "Dude, what's the story with that kid over there?" "Oh, he's gay." I'm like, "So?" "Well, you know, they're gay. People are kind of avoiding talking to him." What? "Is that right?" So I walked up to him, half fully in the bag, and said, "Hey, how's it going? What's your name?" He told me his name, and I said, and again, I'm drunk. I said, "So, dude, you gay?" He goes, he kind of gets this fearful look on his face. He goes, "Well, yeah." I said, "Okay, good. I don't give a fuck. You like show tunes?" He's like, "Well, yeah." I said, "You ever watch Beauty and the Beast?" And we start singing Be Our Guest, Be Our Guest at the top of our lungs in the middle of this party and just pissed everyone the fuck off. That's the environment North Iowa was at the time. I mean, seriously, like, this poor kid was scared shitless he was going to get his ass kicked for being gay. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it took more balls to sing a Beauty and the Beast song at top volume in a heavy metal party than anything else. And for my part, I was just there to say, hey, I don't give a fuck, man. Be who you are. Fuck these people. I don't like them either.
I like their beer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm here for the fucking booze, all right? Fuck gives a shit otherwise.
I'm here to drink your $5 glass of shitty warm beer.
But yeah, that's sort of the environment around. Well, let's just go to the late 90s. Even in the late 90s, yeah, you couldn't come out if you were gay. You just couldn't. It could be obvious, but you still couldn't say, yes, I'm gay.
And so to continue on with this movie,
Fair enough.
So they're rummaging through more of the house, and then they get to the bedroom where the grandmother is, and this is where you learn that she is comatose or needs some kind of life support,
which she's on.
Okay, so this is not uncommon. People do this.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't go to a hospice, and some people don't go to a hospital. Some people are just fucking home, and they will die at home.
And let's mention that the house is another hoarders.
It is not a very well-kept house.
It's horrifically kept.
Understandably.
Right.
So, anyway, there's a little bit of a banter between the two characters.
Yep.
And then what I feel like, the drowning of a cat at the beginning of the movie does not hold a candle to the wind of this next part. This fucking Tumblr. Well, okay, so he's saying like she's dead.
Well, they shoot a BB at her.
They shoot a BB in her foot,
and she doesn't react.
To prove, he does it to prove to Solomon that she's essentially dead, brain dead. She does not feel what you're doing to her. She's just being kept alive.
She's done.
And then he fucking pulls the plug on Granny,
and he says, "This is no way to live."
And that's it. That's it for the scene. They move on.
And the worst part is your mind is so warped by this movie at this point that I watched it and thought, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it wasn't, oh my God, what are they doing? It was just, yeah, I could see that. You know, you've been so fucking sullied by everything else that you've watched up to that point that pulling the plug on someone in their home after you break you're just going, no, I can see that.
This is the consequence for you being our fucking dead cat competition.
I can see that.
we kill your granny.
Well, the damn thing is, like, in a way, they did him a favor, though. And they did her a favor.
Yeah, I get it. It was a mercy kill. It was a mercy killing
and
in the mind of that tumbler. But you have to understand, his mind is twisted.
Well, and that's
because he has no qualms
about doing this.
About fucking a fucking mentally challenged person.
No. Yeah, let's Jesus.
So in his twisted mind, this is a mercy killing.
Right, but this is the word twisted mind. This is what this movie does to you. By this point in the movie, you watch it and you're going, all right. I was nonplussed by that part. That wasn't the whole disturbing thing to me at all.
I know. That's why I feel like if somebody will get up and walk out because of a drowned cat, it's like, just imagine if you stayed.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the drowned cat was the least of it.
Exactly, and that's kind of like a thing people will talk about is like, well, they drowned a cat. Like when I've read reviews about this movie, that's one of the talking points, and I'm like, are we not gonna talk about how he fucking pulled the plug on Granny at all?
Well, no, because by the time you get to him pulling the plug on Granny,
that is the least of our issues.
Right. I for my part wasn't affected by that. I just thought,
that's very on brand for that character.
I could see that. These people have warped my sensibility for the last fucking hour and a half. All right. That makes sense. Within the context of this story, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fucking awful.
What little story we do have.
Right, and that's the entire point, is that there is no point, But yeah, pull the plug on Granny. All right. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Man. I don't know. Like, I'm not, like you said, I'm not shocked, like, oh my God. But, man.
Well, and then the most normal person in that movie, oddly enough, was Solomon's mother.
You think she was normal?
I think I've been around enough people that have warped my sense of normality that she seemed like the least disturbing person, even as she's pointing a toy gun to her 9-year-old son's head and saying, give me a smile or I'll blow your fucking head off.
Let's slow this down and let's go back. So this part of the film you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
So now we're in Solomon's home.
Yep.
And he is going to his kitchen and grabs like a handful of silverware.
And duct tapes, or masking tapes
them together. And tapes them together. And then you follow him downstairs into the basement.
Where he's in front of a full-length mirror.
And a tap floor or a dance floor, whatever you want to call it. But this basement is fucking filthy. It's full of trash and refuse. It just, like, garbage. Just shit everywhere. Piled up everywhere. So he's in this room, and he's looking at himself in the mirror, and then he starts curling the tape
before
together.
He starts curling, he has a soundtrack.
I forget what the Madonna.
Fucking Madonna, like
Madonna.
A prayer.
It was Madonna.
Yeah.
So he's exercising in front of this mirror
with his silverware weights.
Right.
And then his mother comes down.
Well, let's slow down.
Slow down.
Let's talk about why the fuck is he curling silverware to stay in shape?
Because that's how warped their minds are. In his mind,
get in shape.
Well,
so keep in mind this is the one of the only characters throughout this film that has some kind of moral compass.
Right.
Is he trying to make himself bigger because he views himself as weak?
I didn't look that deep into it. I just saw it as more of this kid has been made so dumb that he thinks the idea of lifting silverware is going to get him jacked.
I'm not sure if it's because he's been made so dumb. So we'll get to his mother. His mother is obviously mentally ill.
Well, his mother, I think, had a lot of trauma.
His mother. So we come back to the part where he mentioned his father had died.
Yep.
Somehow. I think that broke his mother.
Oh,
and his mother is mentally ill. His mother may be schizophrenic.
Something's
from what I can tell from the scene that happens.
Right, because she immediately puts on the tap shoes
and starts talking about his dad.
Yep, but this is after she it was right before she encourages her kid to smile. Keeps trying to get him to smile. He won't smile. And so she finds a toy gun and points it at his head and says, I'll blow your fucking head off if you don't smile.
Trying to joke, with him.
Yep.
It's trying to joke and crack a smile.
And the jokes get just more involved.
And it's deeper and darker, and these are not jokes.
You came out of my womb, I'll shove you right back into my womb.
Yeah.
I'll clean your brains up off the floor, I don't care. And then she pulls the cap gun trigger, and that's that.
It's reminiscent of Tumblr's jokes.
Yes!
Because remember when he was... Okay, so when Solomon was in there
doing his thing.
With
the mentally challenged girl.
All
of a sudden, there's this just loud...
He is screaming some fucking joke at the pimp's house.
And the guy in the house is laughing his ass off. I think they just sniffed some glue or something.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. He was real sweaty and
he
frantic.
Just is laughing uncontrollably.
And and his delivery of the joke, it was the inflections of the tones and things were not in the right places.
Right, they weren't in the right places. That's right. That's what got me about it.
It was off-putting.
Right, it was disturbing.
Yeah, so then, like I said, it's reminiscent of this guy's mother doing that to him.
Yep, so finally, mercifully, this basement scene ends. Let's jump to the bathtub scene,
Everybody knows about the bathtub scene.
At that sleep concert, somebody had a shirt with that image on it.
So this Solomon kid, is taking a bath.
In very filthy bath
The
water.
bathroom is filthy. It's very filthy. It hasn't ever been cleaned.
There's Barbie dolls behind him.
So here's something. Yeah, it's like stuff taped to the walls.
Yes.
There's bacon taped to the wall.
Bacon taped to the walls. The bath water itself is black. It's fucking black.
It's very filthy and gross, yeah.
And
also, one of the things I picked up on, which I never noticed before.
Yeah, please do.
He's trying to scrub the wall, like clean.
Yep. Yeah,
He's trying to clean
the wall
it.
as he's cleaning himself.
Because obviously he feels there's something wrong.
Yep.
But
then his mother comes in with his dinner.
A plate of spaghetti.
And milk. And then the doorbell rings. She goes to the door, and it's these two well-dressed African-American kids selling candy bars for some fundraiser. So she buys one for $1, brings it back in there, and she just says,
Here's your dessert.
Here's dessert. So he opens the candy bar, drops it in the bathtub, picks it up, and then eats it. It's just all these little disturbing details.
It is, yeah, little disturbing details, yeah.
And then the scene ends, and this is where I get pissed off at Harmony Korine for his randomness that you have to remember, but you're pissed you remember because there's no point. She shampoos his hair, and this is where you figure out he's probably illiterate because she says, hand me the shampoo. He grabs the bottle and says, no, the other one. That's conditioner. I don't think the kid can read. So
okay.
Grabs the shampoo, shampoos his hair, and like fashions it into this like point or whatever, and then leaves. And you stare at his hair.
That's why I think his mother's schizophrenic.
Right. But yeah, you stare at his hair, and then it goes to whatever the next scene was. Why? Why the fuck did that have to happen? Because I can't help but remember it.
Well, there's a lot of like things in the movie that never get resolved. Like,
well, remember the story about the cocaine addict neighbor or whatever the fuck, who was really into swinging, and would bring random women to the house and fuck them in front of his kids or whatever?
No.
You don't remember that story? I can't forget that one.
See, there's so much shit that happens. You almost have to watch this movie again.
No, you don't. But yeah, that was one of the random stories they threw in there for the hell of it. Then the poor girl who talked about her dad molesting her.
Yeah, I remember that voiceover. That was during towards the beginning of the movie.
Yep. But then, and talk about ruining songs. The other sleep song that was in it was Some Grass, that acoustic instrumental.
Right.
Which was inherently fucking disturbing and pissed me off because it was Tumblr talking about wood and how without wood there'd be nothing in this country. No cigar store Indians, no anything. And he's seen on a payphone with a dead cat in his fucking hand as the song's playing. Without wood, there wouldn't be anything. And then, yeah, you look down, he's holding a fucking dead cat. I'm like, God, Harmony, you fucking asshole. You ruined Some Grass. Really?
Yeah. And then there's also no resolution to some of the parts in the movie, like him killing that dude's grandma. Or anything else with that other guy. Like, they never came back to the fact that he was gay. They never came back to him really at all.
So can we just go to the very end of the movie?
Wait.
Oh, God. Chad, you fucker. All right.
And then it shows him finding his cat traps. And then they're, like, by one of the dumpsters behind the building.
Yes, one of the dumpsters.
They kick it over, or, you know.
That's right. So then
Don't they sniff glue again, too?
Yeah, because at one point they're sniffing glue at some lady's house, and her kid is wandering around moving pictures, and there's like flies buzzing behind the pictures.
Oh yeah.
So, and then he goes and curls up into his mom's lap as she's got a bag full of glue, and Tumblr and fucking Solomon have bags full of glue, and they're all sitting there just glued up, and this poor kid just looking around like doesn't know what to do.
And also, we forgot to talk about the rabbit scene.
Oh yes, the scene that was in the movie Belly. Fucking this.
So this happens a few times. You will just have a cutscene of this rabbit character.
Right. Well,
So this rabbit character is cutting through what I think is a junkyard,
let's say a junkyard.
and these two kids are playing
Cowboys. It seems like.
cowboys. it
Except
seems
they are
like.
profane as shit.
They are fucking crazy profane.
The younger one just keeps yelling, "You can kiss my ass!"
Yeah,
over and
you know
over.
what they remind me of? They remind me of that. What's that movie? That Ricky Bobby movie.
Talladega Nights.
Yeah, like the kids are like, "I'll come at you like a spider monkey."
Yep.
It's those kids.
Except it was, "You can kiss my ass!" over and over.
So
but
then,
what I can figure
so
out
then they
is,
see the rabbit. So now, knowing what I know now, how this is a metaphorical real rabbit dressed as a kid in rabbit ears. They see a rabbit. These two kids see let's envision it as a real rabbit.
no, let's not. Let's just talk about what happened.
And they're trying to shoot and kill the rabbit with their guns.
Well, there you are with your philosophies and deeper meanings.
Fucking rabbit!
Let's just talk about
Goddamn
what
rabbit.
happened.
I fucking hate rabbits. They smell like pussy.
This shitty ass rabbit stinks. Smells like pussy. But what I couldn't figure out is like, so Bunny Boy walks up to him and they point their cap guns at him.
It's cap guns. It's not BB guns. Cap guns. Pop,
Cap.
pop, 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 pop.
Yep. Point the guns at him.
grabs
and
his chest
and he
and he,
plays
like-
dead.
Yeah.
And just fucking lays
And
there
just
while they take
lays
his
there.
shoes off and throw him.
Yep.
He doesn't put up a fight as they're rifling his pockets. Nothing. He plays right into whatever their game was. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was a metaphor. Fuck you. Because I couldn't figure out why the hell this person was just, "Shitty ass rabbit, get him!" And then he just collapses and lets them do whatever they want.
Yeah. And then they leave because they're bored with killing the rabbit.
And they're all filthy as fuck.
Yeah, they're dirty little kids playing around outside, obviously not having any supervision whatsoever.
No, but yeah, then Bunny Boy at some point in the movie is seen in a public restroom playing an accordion.
Yeah, that totally didn't make any sense.
At one point, he's skateboarding down the street. Can we please get to the end of the movie?
Well, the end of the movie involves a fucking bunny boy.
Well, it does. That's one of the last scenes. But no, the first one is that Roy Orbison song gets called back because while Tumblr and Solomon were sniffing glue the first time, Tumblr's talking about his brother who went to the city because he was gay. And
Oh, that's right.
he always sang the song crying. And they're glued the fuck up. But then, so you get to the last scene, and the first thing you hear is that Roy Orbison song crying. Well, you got Tumblr and Solomon shooting a fucking cat in the rain. and
Okay,
just
so
shooting it.
that's that black cat from the beginning. It didn't have its collar on.
Yep.
That's why the cat's lost.
But then after that, you show the swimming pool with the two blonde sisters and Bunny Boy, and they're all making out with him.
Yep, making out with the bunny in the rain.
C-
And what song's playing?
crying.
Crying. That's right.
And then the very last-
no rhyme or reason. It's just happening.
But now,
Like, can people see this bunny boy, or is he?
Right.
What the fuck is
right.
going on?
And why is Bunny Boy making out with the two sisters? I mean, I didn't get that at all. But then, oh God, now I'm remembering other scenes. The first scene is Tumblr and some young lady in a car, and he feels a lump on her breast.
That's right.
And then they
There's
show
a
her
lump on your titty.
They show her in the hospital later saying, "Boys won't talk to me if I don't have one of my boobs or whatever the hell."
Because she had cancer. And
Because
they
she
were
had
gonna
fucking
remove it.
cancer.
And all she was concerned about is what boys would think of her.
All right, so going back to, all right, so yeah, Bunny
Shit,
Boy's
there's
make.
so
I
much
know,
shit.
but Bunny Boy's making out with the sisters in the pool. Tumblr and Solomon are shooting a fucking cat. And then the second to last scene is Bunny Boy walks up to the camera, breaking the fourth wall, and holds up the missing black cat.
Yep.
And then you show mentally challenged girl who carried around the baby singing "Jesus Loves Me, This I Know," in bed with presumably her mother. And then they shut the lights off, and you hear the mother say, "Okay, it's time to stop." And then you get a death metal song, and the credits roll.
Yeah, very, very jarring. So, it was this movie. it goes out of its way to try to make you feel dirty.
And it works.
It does.
Dude, I was sitting there, my Saturday night. This was my fucking Saturday night. Fucking pour a cocktail, grab a bite to eat, and I've got to sit and watch Gummo. And it's like, oh, Jesus, this is just fucking horrible. Why am I doing this to myself? Yeah, and I couldn't wait for it to get over with, but it seemingly would never end.
But it did on some of the weirdest notes you'd ever fucking seen.
And Christ, I was thankful for that.
Yeah, so I ended up watching the special features. It was like, I don't know, like a 10-minute sort of interview with pictures, stills from the movie.
All right.
So it was some guy asking questions to Harmony Korine, and he was answering them.
Okay, I did not watch this, so what did you get out of it?
So he views himself as some kind of, I don't know.
Artiste?
Yeah.
Somebody with a redeeming value?
Like, purposely does this to kind of challenge your way of thinking or whatever.
Well, of course. I could see that 100%.
And so they ask him, like, run-of-the-mill questions, like,
right.
Like, where did you find these people? There's these characters and people are just like so vile and disgusting at points.
Right.
Where it's like, where did you fucking find these people?
Where'd you come up with this shit?
So then he says, yeah, everyone except for the main characters,
right,
were extras that he picked up at whatever random places where they were filming.
Right.
Like, and he goes on to say something along the lines of he purposely did that. Like, purposely only spent, like, 45 minutes to cast the movie.
I'm sure he did. I don't doubt that,
Other than these main characters, which
right.
he had the Tumblr, he had that guy in mind.
Yep.
And, like, legitimately, he was, like...
the real deal.
On, like, Sally Jesse Raphael or whatever.
Well, and that was kind of the thing with kids. The Casper character, the actor who played him was a fucking nutcase, I guess. He eventually offed himself, which, as far as I'm concerned, good, more oxygen for me. But no, I guess people were afraid of him on set because he was just a fucking nutcase and a violent one at that.
Yeah, so he went on to say he chose this guy because of that, and then he was like, he said some kind of fucking asinine statement about how he respects survivors of glue huffing more than people who have perished huffing glue.
Huh?
Because they survived the...
Harmony Korine said that.
Yeah, some shit like that, similar to that.
Also trying to be shocking.
Yeah, he was like the Marilyn Manson of filmmaking before Marilyn Manson was the Marilyn Manson of shock rock.
And, trying to be diplomatic about it, I could see if he was trying to make a point with kids, it's like, okay, this is the ugly reality. Here, look at it. Don't ignore it. Okay, Gummo, this is the ugly reality. Okay, look at it. At a certain point, it's like, nah, you're just fucking trying to shock. You're just trying to disturb.
Because there was no real story there.
With Gummo, there absolutely was not.
There was nothing to take away from this other than... I feel dirty, and now I need to do something that makes me not feel dirty.
Right. Whereas kids, it was pretty. To me, it was like, okay, AIDS is rampant, and your kids are getting it.
So,
and this is how.
I understand that he's trying to show a certain demographic, right? But I feel like a lot of it was like a very cartoonish.
Well, it was exploitive.
Yeah, a very like cartoonish and. Over-exaggerated version of some of these things.
See, and I think so, but that's where the fucking guy actually is effective is you start wondering, is this cartoonish though? Because I've been in houses that looked like that. I've seen situations that were like that. I think what he did was he found the fucking filthiest of the filthy and said, here's an hour and a half of it.
Yeah.
In that way, I think it was. In fact, I don't know that he was really exaggerating much.
But is Ohio really like that, you think?
I think in any back corner of any state could be like that.
Man.
Dude, I've been to towns in Iowa where I've gone into a house for nefarious purposes, illegal, and it's like, I've seen those hoarders' houses. They do exist. I don't stay in them long. I don't go in them anymore, but I've seen them. that's probably why it got to me as much as it did. Because, like, my God, there is a lot of reality to this. And I'm not liking it. But the cat killing I wonder about because
Yeah.
Inbound.
Yeah, so... And then another thing during this little interview thing on the special features is they asked, like, how much of the footage was, like, improvised or whatever.
All right.
So he says, you know, like, they would just let the camera roll and let it happen.
Yep.
And he says this, and I quote, I had to fucking stop the DVD and rewind it to make sure I got this quote correct.
Okay.
And he says, I quote, that they let the camera roll, and he was like, yep, let it ease on down and suck you off.
In regards to what exactly?
Letting the camera roll.
Let it ease on. Shut the fuck up.
Nope. I had to rewind it and make sure that's what was being said.
That was how he described his camera, his approach to let it ease on. Shut the.
Yep.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. What? Okay, fine. Salute, Harmony. You shocked me. I don't know how the fuck to even react to that. Let it ease on down and suck you off. I think that's a brilliant directorial move because how else do you, as an actor, react to a fucking quote like that? You're inherently disturbed.
You know what?
You're jarred, something.
There are plenty of films that just let it roll. There are plenty of films that have takes where they just fucking let it go and they improvise and what have you.
Right.
But I highly doubt, like, a Scorsese or a Spielberg
or even a Kevin fucking Smith.
A Kevin Smith would be like, let it ease on down and suck you off. And with that, I think we're going to wrap up this podcast.
Fuck do you go from there? Jesus Christ.
Where do you go from there?
I don't know, sir. I mean, I don't know why that is bothering me because it's too easy, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's too easy to say something vulgar and let the people react. And it's like, I'm almost disappointed because that sounds like something a sleazy fucking, I don't know, pimp would say. Let it ease on down and suck you off. Or, not a Harmony Korine artsy fucking asshole. I mean,
well,
seriously?
just how artsy is this asshole?
Well,
how artsy was a guy like Andy Warhol? Just how fucking artsy are these guys?
And that's just it. How do you define art?
Just how artsy is a Roman Polanski?
Roman Polanski's a fucking pedophile. Fuck
exactly.
Him.
That yes, and I want to say that he's one of this Harmony Korine's film idols or something.
Fucking probably is. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I give credit. I hate to give any credit to what I think is just fucking art without a point, art with no redeeming value. But one thing I'll give Harmony Korine is he knows how to fucking jar you. He knows how to goddamn make you want a brain scrub after watching his movies. But, I mean, I'll give him credit. That is life out there. Nobody's forcing you to watch this movie. But once you do, you can't ignore what you saw. And this shit does exist. Like, kids, that shit happens. Fucking Gummo. Yeah, Chad, that shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the whole thing is basically your face is forced in a pile of excrement. People talking about fathers molesting their kids, talking about mentally challenged women being pipped out, talking about cats being killed, huffing glue. You have your face pressed in a pile of excrement. And the damn thing is, you kind of chose to do it by watching it. And he would be right to say, nobody's forcing you to watch my movie.
Yeah.
I just put it out there.
So do you think is there any social commentary? Is there any substance to this movie? Is this a movie just to shock and jar you?
No, I don't think so.
Are you supposed to take anything else away from it?
I think it's basically, if you're going to take anything from it, yeah, it's absolutely on its face shock value. I think if you're going to take anything from it, it's, kind of like what you would take from kids or whatever. If you have a moral compass at all, and you probably do if you're questioning this at all to begin with, don't live like that. Don't live like that.
and that's your that's our takeaway. Don't live like that.
It kind of is, though. I mean, it's like, it's easy enough that we grew up in the Midwest. So, like I said, that kitchen scene fucking hit home is because I'd been part of that. I'd seen that. And I tell you what, you walk around the fair sometime and tell me mentally challenged people aren't procreating. I mean, this shit happens. People take advantage of people. That is the ugliness that nobody wants to think about, let alone watch.
So, I agree with you on that.
Fair enough.
However, is this the guy to make us aware of that?
Well, who else is going to, Chad?
He is not a hero.
I'm not calling him a hero. Fuck that shit. No, he's not a hero. I think he's doing it for his own fucking getting off,
Weirdo benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I absolutely believe that. However,
I feel like he's rather pompous individual.
I think I think most people of his nature are. I think he's definitely pompous, and I think he's exploitive. In that,
yeah, exploitive. Yeah, that's
you made entertainment out of fucking horrific events. When you have a whole scene, when you put to film a scene where some poor girl narrates being molested by her father, you're exploiting a situation.
So let's briefly touch on that because it's uncomfortable to talk about.
That was the one that I was just like, well, there was a background noise that I was so glad got louder the more the monologue went on.
Yeah. Do you think that was a scripted fictional?
No, I think that was probably stock footage.
Do you think that he took the No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was archived.
No,
I think in his exploitive nature that you're talking about is that he got somebody
to recite this,
from a personal experience.
Well, if he did, then he's a fucking scumbag,
right?
To put it mildly. Yeah, but that's the thing that I don't like about Harmony.
Yeah, so it was either scripted, as in he dreamt it up,
which is god awful.
And since he admitted to just grabbing people from wherever,
then he recorded somebody.
And maybe if he also just let the film roll,
let it roll on down and suck you off.
Ease on down and suck you off.
Ease on down, whatever the hell. But no, I never thought about that. But no, you're right. Either way, you're exploiting fucking tragedy, and that's unforgivable. Because he's doing it for entertainment. He's not a social commentator. He's not releasing gummo to say, let's take a look at the plight of the poor Midwest. No, it's, hey, maybe somebody from fucking LA will watch this and go, those stupid fucking hicks.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
And one more thing before we really wrap this up.
Yeah.
So you mentioned those two little black kids selling candy.
Yeah.
So it cuts to them later.
It was a scam.
It was a scam.
I just marveled at the fact that they were so well dressed in this town of people that are not well dressed.
Right. I think that's probably alluding to like maybe they were from out of town.
I never thought about that.
I mean, there's so much to unpack with this movie.
There really
We
is.
could talk for like another 20 minutes just about that scene where these kids scam these people. And then they to each other, they're like twins or something.
Yeah, all about those bitches and that money.
Yeah, they're
8 years old.
8 fucking years old-ish.
Right.
And just fucking flaunting the stack of cash they got from people.
And that kind of was sort of an underlying point of the movie is kids having to grow up way too fast because there's no discernible adults to fucking guide them.
Right.
Which is tragic.
Because they're all getting fucking drunk and arm wrestling and WWF fucking SummerSlam and a chair around.
But that's the goddamn thing.
On a Tuesday.
And see, Harmony Korine knows this because he grew up in Kentucky. So he knows what rural plight is.
Look at you. A little bit of background. I did not know.
Pretty fucking sure. But yeah, he knows what rural plight is. He's exploiting the fuck out of rural plight. Now, as far as kids goes, I can't tell you what his background would have been there. Probably he went to New York or something and just, he finds the dark side and fucking blows it up. And that's fine or whatever, but at a certain point, at what point are you exploiting people? Like kids, you mean to tell me there probably wasn't some poor girl in New York who got fucked one time and got AIDS? Okay, so let's make a movie about this. Seriously? I mean, I can't tell anybody what to do with their art. I've written songs about addiction and fucking everything else, and somebody whose brother died of a heroin overdose could say, you fucking bastard, how can you write about that?
Well, a lot of people do it. A lot of things are written that way.
Right, and the same with sexual abuse, like with this movie. A lot of people experience that. Yeah, I guess at what point is the art excused or is it not? But then again, Chad, how guilty are we if we're not happy about this, but yet we just had to watch it, didn't we?
I didn't just have to, but
We chose to watch it, didn't we?
I feel like it garnered some sort of discussion.
Okay, but why?
That's a very good question.
And
I don't know. Maybe it's because when I watched it initially, it was under the guise of, "Oh, you gotta watch this. It's fucked up."
Right, and that's the whole point.
So keep in mind, I was probably 18 or 19 years old.
Pretty sure I would have been
Okay.
19 when I first saw it.
So we're talking about 20 years has passed or longer, and my mind has obviously matured.
A little different than it was
I
then.
would assume most people, their minds have matured.
I would hope.
So I wanted to come back to this, and is it as what made it fucked up then compared to what makes it fucked up now?
And I think
at the time, so my recollection of the movie was, yeah, fucking dude in a dirty bathtub eating spaghetti.
yeah, this is
I
weird.
could not recall all of the other fucked up things.
Sure.
I don't know about you.
Well,
But-
I think that's where another way Harmony Korine is very effective.
It's one of those things. Like, why is this a cult classic? This is definitely a cult movie,
His movies make you want to block them out, though.
but
That's
it's
the whole
definitely
thing.
a cult thing.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
So, like I said, me with a more matured mind, I wanted to revisit this as why is this a cult thing?
Right.
Well, I don't understand why it's a cult thing, but it makes me feel dirty and
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, it's almost like
This is not. I do not like this. I do not want to like this.
you know what it's like on a very different level. Okay, this was just, I guess, dark would be the only way to put it. Negative. But okay, you say it's a cult movie. It fucking well is. Why would we even give a damn? Because Sleep was in the soundtrack.
Well,
there was one thing to kind of.
So to me, no, that is not a motivating factor. I learned Sleep was in the soundtrack after the fact. I've gone 20 years without realizing Sleep was in the soundtrack.
Yeah, I didn't know until this year.
That wasn't a motivating factor. Like, I got to see that movie to see the scene that.
No,
the
but
Sleep
it kind
song
of
is in.
in a little way, sort of a little bit kind of sweetened the deal. It was one positive thing you could sort of hold on to is, hey, I'm going to hear Sleep.
Well, you're not entirely wrong.
Okay.
Okay, you're not entirely wrong. But so that will bring me back to Fanboy from the Sleep Show.
Christ
It's like
almighty.
you have to indulge in everything your favorite artist has ever done. Your favorite artist agreed to be on this soundtrack to this movie.
Yeah.
So now I'm watching this movie, and now I am a part of why they're a part of this movie.
Oh, wow. That's a hell of a way to look at it.
I get deep sometimes.
No, that's great. I love it. That's fucking brilliant, actually. But I guess for my part, okay, so why is it a cult classic? All right, I mentioned the Sleep thing because it's like, I guess maybe I was projecting. I'm kind of speaking for myself. Like, okay, I have to watch this again. I don't want to do it, but wait, Sleep's in this. That's what I kind of told myself as almost like a defense mechanism of, okay, Sleep's in this. I'm watching this just to see where that band is. Okay, fine. But no, I think it's a cult classic for the same reason that The Apple is a cult classic. Because once you've seen it, your mission in life is to make sure everyone else sees it so they could suffer the same way you did.
Fuck, man. I would encourage everybody to watch The Apple.
You fucking right. At least The Apple's funny.
Do not watch Gummo. Just watch The Apple.
No, we are doing a podcast about The Apple, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch it again.
Yep.
You bastard.
Yeah, payback's a bitch, man.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? I mean, I don't even like The Apple, but
Hey, if we're square on me watching The Apple again, then cool. I got off easy.
deal. Fucking deal. But no, I've referenced that movie how many goddamn times? Fucking,
You're right. Like I agree.
but that's why
I feel like since I've watched The Apple, other people need to watch The Apple.
right. You see,
Just,
you know it's bad, but
just
it's like
to be just get on our level. Just to get on our level. We're on a different level because you have not seen The Apple and I have seen The Apple.
Yep. So
And you need to know, you need to experience.
why this is so bad?
Well, see, The Apple is bizarre.
bizarre.
I didn't feel dirty for watching the
No,
Apple.
I felt
like
weird.
weird. The dude banging his landlord was a little weird.
Wasn't banging her. He felt her up. That was fucking bizarre.
Whichever way you want to frame it.
I just think the fact that everybody was doing the BIM at the exact same time, even dead people on operating tables.
So, yeah, you shattered my train of thought on that one.
Hey, I don't care.
Okay, so I feel like the Apple had more underlying societal themes.
How long did it take you to conjure that scene? Underlying societal themes. Go on, elaborate. You sound like fucking Brock Landers and Boogie Nights. Or no, Chester Rockwell. Violence is something that plagues us as a society. I can fuck up my own time. That's fine.
Well,
Go on.
Well, Joshua, I feel that our podcast is never complete unless we get that NPR moment.
And right now, I'm going to shake this can of beer, and it seems to be empty, but maybe I can get one more slurp out of it. That's delicious Rocky Mountain water.
And with that, we're going to let it ease on down and suck you
off.
off.
God damn it, you fucker. These stupid catchphrases that we've invented now.
Hey, let's get our shit together, shall we?
Yes, sir. All right, Judas Priest.
Oh, man, I forgot that one. That one's so good.
That is, dude, we are, I tell you what, when we get back into this merch nonsense, we're making a shirt that says, all right, Judas Priest, with a picture of Ronnie Van Zant on it. And on the back, it's going to say, let me ask you a question. How the fuck you think you're going to get out that door?
Even our merchandise is wordy.
Hey, we're not savages here. Learn to read.
Yeah.
We're here to enrich your lives, one stupid catchphrase at a time, says the guy with a 40 the hard way sticker in his collection. You fucker.
I have it on my laptop.
I know. Fucking too. Your stupid off-the-cuff remark, and it became a nickname. God damn it.
And it all came from a porno mag.
Huh? You said that came from a stripper.
No. Wait.
Yes, you said because I bought your first lap dance from some 40-year-old lady, and you said you had to go to 40 the hard way, didn't you? I'm like, yeah.
Where did I get the phrase 40 the hard way?
I don't know, because you also used to give me shit about it when I come in and tell you about my latest weekend conquest. Like, what, you went 40 the hard way? Well, yeah, I kind of did. So me turning 40, I became 40 the fucking hard way.
40 the hard way in the connotation we're talking about you, yes, came from the strip club. Yeah. The actual phrase, I think, came from an interaction I had with somebody else when we were in a bookstore, and they were like, check out this magazine. And it was like, it was something ridiculous. It may not even have been 40 the hard way. It could have been like 60 the hard way.
God damn right.
But I think that's where it came from for me. The title, the kind of that.
We have convoluted this story so fucking bad that fucking God, even trying to.
But it came from the strip club thing,
right? For
you,
you had to go 40 the hard way, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I had to have thought that up from somewhere,
right?
And I think it was that.
But no, like your what's everybody, it just flew out of your mouth during the first podcast.
Look, man,
and Joshua 40 the hard way Johnson. He's like, oh, motherfucker.
What's everybody was definitely.
You were drunk. You were fucking drunk, and that was when we were right before the cold opening. You got drunk.
It's because we were having the duff.
The duff, the jack.
Man.
We drank a lot during that one. That's probably why the podcast was 3 fucking hours long. Jesus. What's everybody? 40 the hard way. Judas Priest.
We look.
Yeah, who are you feeling? Yeah, look here.
We definitely need to wrap this up. We're getting a little off base and off subject here.
And this is what we do. So, on that happy note, without any notes taken.
Look, this has been One More Last Time
with Chadwick Von Tippitt
and Joshua Lee Johnson.
Asta.